This is Hachsig Mesilas Yesharim as we conclude another incredible week of learning Mesilas Yesharim Yomi. Apologies for a little bit late on this year, but I guess as they say, better late than never. We pick it up, beginning a new Perek, page 466 in the Artscroll Mesilas Yesharim, as you begin the Bederech Kiniyas HaAnava, the way to acquire Hanava. Says the Ramachal, there are two practices that accustom a person to Hanava. Regilus v'hisbainin, training and contemplation. Says the Ramachal, now we're going to go each and every one, as always, piece by piece. What is regilus? Is that a person has to gradually accustom himself to act humbly. Doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow and steady pace. The way that we described, by sitting with the low people, not sitting in the places of the chasha people, walking in the end of the whole group, not in the front. Not wearing showy clothing, but rather modest clothing. You don't have to dress in rags, but not that which is overly impressive. Because if someone acts in this manner, says the Ramchal, by acting in a humble manner, slowly and surely, little by little, what happens? It settles into a person. Slowly, by acting that way, he becomes that way. Until it's finally kavua, established inside of him. Says Ramchal, you know what you have to do it little by little, because normally, and this is a big chizik, then naturally, how do we feel, says the Ramchal? Naturally, we feel superior. Naturally, we feel conceited. And therefore, it's difficult to uproot this natural, this normal nitiya inclination that we have. So the only way to do it is by these external actions, which we are in control of, which will slowly allow us to take control over ourselves. Yamshich ma'at ma'at, to slowly, little by little, gradually integrate into a person that which is less in his control. So what he's saying is a very fine detail, that to be an anav is not so easy, but it's easy to act like an anav. So we have to slowly act and put ourselves in a situation of an anav, and then slowly we'll be able to act that way and feel that way as well. Zrizas is similar to the way it is described in Zrizas in the 7th chapter. Is all included in that which the Gemara and Brachas teach us. Person should be resourceful, cunning, arum, when it comes to fear of Hashem. The Hainu, what does that mean? That we have to look for different schemes and plans and ways to go counter our regular natural inclination until we slowly can take control and slowly be in control over our actions. So continues Reb Chaim, what's the second way? The second way is Bainanus was thought, contemplation. Says the Ramchal, contemplation brings a person, is a bunch of ideas. What does that mean? And as always, he subcategorizes everything. One area of thought is like a Kava ben Mahalel, famously taught in the Mishnah Avos. As they say, know where you have come from, from a putrid drop. To where you are going, the place of dust, worms, and maggots. In front of whom are we going to have to give a judging and reckoning? All these thoughts, the more we think how low we are, we're eventually going to have to go, is contrary and works against one's pride. And helps his anava, helps his humility. Says Ramchal, when one looks and one contemplates where we came from such a low place, the origin, the makar, which is so inferior, Ein loitam l'nasikal. We realize what? I should feel big. I should feel superior. We're so low. Ela levoy shlikalim. Rather, we should be embarrassed. We should be ashamed. Halamazeh daima. What's this comparable to? L'raya chazirim. Sheikir limlach, to was shepherd of chazirim, of a chazir, of a pig, who became a king, but he originally was a shepherd of pigs. Whenever he remembers the original days, he certainly cannot become mitkayeh, certainly cannot feel superior. So an incredible lesson that what were we? We were nothing more than a shepherd of pigs. We were so low at our origin, and hopefully that will help us as we think about it and as we act in such a way to slowly reach this level of anava.